It's Amy, licensed esthetician, and welcome back to my bathroom. I'm laughing because I've had to reshoot this video so many times to demonstrate my ultrasonic scrubber. And every camera I was using was picking up the sound so loud that it was almost impossible to do the video. And I'm sorry about the wrong direction of the video. So this is a ultrasonic skin spatula or skin scrubber. I have been using these on my clients since day one. It is used to exfoliate the skin. It can also be used, or I use it to depuff my eye and also to penetrate product. So I listed below two different price point ones. Let me explain to you a little bit of how these work and what to look for. As a licensed esthetician, I'm really privileged that my license allows me to go to a lot of the vendor shows and the trade shows. So I'm able to pick these up, use them and test them and select the ones. And over the years, I found out what I like in these units. So below I listed one that's a $25 model and one that's a $120 model. So just so you know, this one I picked up at a skin show and I've been using it for 10 years. What makes the difference? The less expensive models tend to be all plastic. They also tend to not have as much battery life. They also don't oscillate at the same speed. And a lot of times the actual blade, this is the blade, is a little thick. The higher priced units tend to have a nicer casing, tend to last a little longer, and it's really for me about the blade and of course the oscillating speed. So actually the great thing about purchasing through Amazon, if anything happens, you can just return them and buy another one. My unit only has one button in two modes. One mode's exfoliation, one mode is pulse. Sometimes you'll see them with several different modes that may say lift and tone, and I've had some that had those and I found that it's just the pulsating mode sometimes is faster or slower. But I like to keep it simple, and I happen to like this particular model. Now this one's by Jess, G-E-S-S, but I haven't found them online. I'll show you how well, first of all, let me explain to you of who can and cannot use it and why I opt to use this instead of microdermabrasion. Microdermabrasion has that suction, and a lot of people think that the suction is to suck out a blackhead, and that's not true. The suction is just to pull the skin up a little into the tube so that it runs against a diamond tip head. And a lot of people think that higher suction is better, and that is wrong. Especially on my clientele, which is older, we don't want to break a capillary, or if they're on a blood thinner. I mean, you can give somebody a hickey with one of those things. The one thing we want to do when we do skincare is we want to enhance the skin and make it better and not harm it. So you're not here to suck out a blackhead. Now, this unit can also help to extract, and I'll try to demonstrate because I don't have any blackheads, but maybe we can get something out of my skin, but I'll demonstrate how to do that as well. This is also good for those of you that can't tolerate fruit enzymes. I am allergic to pineapple and papaya, and those two ingredients have bromelain in them. And I can't have them on my skin because I'm allergic if I eat them, and if they're on my skin, I'm also allergic. So if you're ever somebody that went for a facial and they put an enzyme on your skin and the next day your skin was broken out and you call the esthetician and they'll say, oh, it's drawing out all the stuff. Sometimes it could be that, like it's drawing out all the impurities, but a lot of times you may not realize it, that you could have an allergic reaction to it. So those things I cannot have on my skin. And you've seen me in other videos where I'm testing an enzyme and the next day I end up with seborrheic dermatitis or I have a breakout. So over the years, I've learned to just avoid those things. I don't use them in my practice either. So I opt for the ultrasonic scrubber for exfoliation. And I do like it for depuffing my eyes. I don't use it as much to penetrate product, but I'm going to demonstrate that as well because I prefer my mini microcurrent, which I think is a lot better and a lot stronger. But if this is in your price point, this is a great tool to have. So hopefully the mic is not going to, you're going to hear it because this is what it sounds like. So hopefully the mic won't pick it up that much. Few other tips. If you have active acne, you never want to go over if you have an open lesion on your face. If you have rosacea and those areas get irritated, you can work around those areas. This is good for anybody's skin type, male or female, from the lightest skin tones to the darkest skin tones. A few other things, we never want to use it on dry skin. We have to move the unit on wet skin. We never want to hold it or dig with it because we can leave a mark. We can leave a little hyperpigmentation mark. As you notice, the blade has a little bit of a dip on it. When it's in exfoliation mode, the tip is down at a 45-degree angle, which I'll demonstrate. And when it's in pulsating mode or lift mode, we flip it over like this, so that tip is moved up, and I'm going to show you all of that. Second cleanse. Now sometimes I'll put a mask on a client and I'll use this to remove the mask, but in general, I personally I found that works best for me, and the way that I like to do it is cleanse the skin, double cleanse the skin, take it off, and then I use water with a aesthetic 4x4, which is what these are, or you can use a cotton round to apply water, and I really like the water to exfoliate the skin. And sometimes, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, sometimes you'll actually see the vaporization. I'm going to use my I know it's backwards, my Mega Purifying Cleanser from Glymed. This particular cleanser goes on dry, and then I'm going to add water to emulsify it. So I'm going to do a cleanse. Actually, I'll take it off with my cleanser and see if you can see it. So my skin is pretty clean because I had to reshoot this video a few times. And this is not a very wet cleanser, but we're going to show you anyway. You also want to have either the 4x4 or tissue around, because if you get stuff accumulated on the blade, we need to clean it off. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to have to stay a little bit, actually I need a little bit of water on my skin. And you always go in a nut movement. And sometimes I'm going to hold my skin a little bit, and I'm just going to move. Let's see. And you will see my skin pink up a little. I'm just going to wipe that off. And I'm just removing my cleanser. If I feel a tug or anything, I'm going to have to wet my skin. We always want to be moving this on wet skin. You can also do it in this direction as well. We always want to move up. So you can see I have a little erythema on my skin, which is redness, because it's exfoliating. Now, I think I could show you with this. I don't know if it'll come on here. So this is a little bowl of water. If I put it in here and I take it out, you see that mist? I think the camera picked it up, maybe on my hand. That mist is basically vaporizing the water with the top of your skin. And here we go like this, just move it up. Get my hair out of the way. Now my eyebrows are tattooed, and I shouldn't be going over it, but I do. Need that. I'm always moving up, same thing here. Do the other side. I need to add a little bit of water. Like I said, I like to see that water come up. We do a little extra exfoliation. I've been wearing a lot of heavy sunblock because it's summer now. And sunblock tends to clog the skin, so we'll just do a little extra pass on that for my skin. Of course, the neck as well. We got this area here. I'll get to my nose in a minute. You can also do your chest if you want as well. To exfoliate, you get the idea. Of course, my nose. But let me see if I can zoom in on the camera and do my nose. So, you have a blackhead and you need to get it out. First of all, we never want to dig super hard on a blackhead. So if I have a client that comes in and they have a lot of congestion in their skin, you can only work so long on the skin, and that blackhead does not want to go. We never force a blackhead. Many times I'll say to a client, you may have to come back, because if I'm going to dig on that blackhead or it's not going to come out, I'm either going to then either do a light peel to help loosen it up, or I'm going to tell them to come back. And I may give them some home care, because even if you're at home, we don't want to be digging. We never want to be pushing, because we can do damage in the long term. Now, you may say, well, I'm only 20 years old now, but that picking now at that big blackhead is you're going to pay for it later, because if you damage that underlying skin tissue, you may end up with an enlarged pore. So sometimes that blackhead just may have to wait. So this is going to pick up, I think, on the camera microphone. So what I normally do, of course, wet skin. So I'm wetting my skin. So if I have a blackhead or if I'm going in here, I tend to use the tip of this, the edges a little bit, but you can also do it here. We don't want to hold it too long, but I'm going to use a little bit more pressure, and I'm going to go in there because I know I always have a little bit of something in that area. really don't have anything, but that's how I usually work the nose, because this area here, along here, usually is where everybody has something. Now, also you can go over the lips one time. Wet lips, remember. Give them a little exfoliation too. I tend to always do the lips last, simply because I don't want to carry, if there's any bacteria or anything from the mouth, I don't want to carry it to other areas of the face. I'm going to do the other side of my nose too. And if I wasn't in the camera, I'd be in the magnifying mirror and really looking to see. I have some what's called dermal filament, and I can pop out. But you see my nose is red because I've shot the video a few times, so I'm very exfoliated right now. And that's generally how I do it. Now, if I had my cleanser on, so to make sure, I would still go through, wipe through, and make sure that all my cleanser is removed, because we don't want to have any cleanser. And around the eye area, I would just still exfoliate very gently in that area, but very gently, because that is, you know, thin skin. But what I'm going to do right now, because my skin is prepped, is I'm going to do a really quick dermaplaning, because I got some peach fuzz. So my older video, I didn't have this tool. This one is by Epove. I'm going to put the link below. It has a different shape. It is a little bit sharp. My skin's a little tingly right now. So I'm going to do a really quick dermaplaning, just to get rid of my peach fuzz. So, and that's a little bit more exfoliation. So, now just so you know, people think that dermaplaning is the end all be all thing. It's really nice to remove that peach fuzz. It's not going to make your hair grow back differently, and it makes your makeup smoother, gives a smoother appearance. It takes a long time for the skin to grow back, but this is not going to erase a wrinkle, and it's not going to produce collagen. So I just like to keep it real. And a lot of times when I'm working on a client, even though they didn't book for a dermaplaning, if I see a lot of peach fuzz and they want to have a clear complexion, I'll always say to them, let me do this for you. We're going to remove the hair at the surface, and it'll take a longer time to grow back. It's not going to grow back heavy. I do it on myself all the time. I do mine about every 6 weeks. And usually they say yes. And then when they come back the next time, they'll say, do that again. Because the peach fuzz, if you're wearing makeup, can grab on it. So, but I really like this tool. Okay, now we're going to go into pulse mode. Now, if I wake up in the morning and I have a puffy eye and I don't feel like doing massage and gua sha, I just take my tool too. So I'm using my Victoria Dan eye serum because this is a little on the thicker side. So I'm going to put my eye serum right on my eye. I'm going to put it in pulse mode. Remember, I have to flip it over because I want this side away from the skin. And I can just drag it, and I can drag it right up along my crow's feet. And then I can do the upper eye as well. And usually I'll do that, go brush my teeth, have some sip of tea, and I usually come back and my under eye looks really good. Now we're going to do the rest of the face. And clients are the Glymid Wrinkle Remedy with Drone Technology. This is a sample. Or I use the Intense Peptide Skin Recovery Complex. So both of these work really great with this. So I'm going to use the Wrinkle Remedy one. I usually get a result pretty quickly. So I only have a little bit left in this jar, so I'm going to actually stick my finger in it. Normally I wouldn't, because we never want bacteria. I'm going to put in a decent coating. I'm not going to rub it in. I'm going to let the unit push it in, and I'm going to help lift the skin. So I'm going to go once again into the pulse mode, and I'm going to move it up. You'll see.
a little bit more, do my forehead, and also do my neck too. Whoops. And as you can see, I'm going to leave it off now. Everything I do is always in an up movement.
Always in an up movement. And you can slow it down a little bit if you want to. Always in an up movement to penetrate it. But I really use this product to help with my under eyes. It's also good for the jowl area. It's really just a nice tool to have for your home, for a home device, because it's so versatile. You can travel with them. They have a USB charger, really simple. And that's it. That's how they operate. So if you have any questions or concerns, please list them in the comments below and I'll gladly help you with it. But don't forget, you still need to wash your face.